Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Joy Fay and I'm an artist, and today I'm going to show you a few ideas about playing with your painting. You know, there's so many wonderful things that you can do, and I've been doing lots of experiments which I thoroughly recommend and then I've got a whole pile of them which I'll show you, and then what to do with them to carry on experimenting. So I'm going to show you a few of my techniques, and hopefully that will inspire you to do the same. So without further ado, let's get started. So I have a pile of paintings here that I've just been playing with, and I had them on one big sheet and I've cut them up. So the first lot, let me show you, I've put them in play because I need to get organised. So I've got a few nice bits here. I've already started doing a little bit with those two. And then these are the others. What I've done, I had them on just cartridge paper and I've stuck them on some old watercolour clay things that I was doing, and just to make them a bit stronger. So I've got a few here. All, you can see that they were all in the same picture, but then I thought I'll cut them up and have a play. And when I was playing with I was actually playing with 3 of these. Turn that round, and then I finish one, and actually I'm really happy with it. I put it on a little border, and you know, to go from something like that to something like this is really kind of satisfying. I still might do some other things with it, but just to kind of show you that even though these might be playthings, you can do some interesting things with them. So I'm going to keep working on those, but I think we'll start with some fresh ones that I haven't touched first, just to give you an idea. So I'm just random, these two, I think. And I think it's great when you're working in a series, because you never kind of get attached to one or the other. You can just keep going from one to the other, and also it gives you time to let each one dry, so you're not going to go muddy. So I've got some brushes at hand, I've got some scrapers, some tools, all my bits and pieces, and I'm just going to really play around with, you know, I like this, I like the colours of it, but I think, you know, I like to loosen up before I actually start. So I do have a lot of pens, I've just got a few here. And I'm going to take China marker on this one. So just kind of free over the top. And, you know, we're kind of making shapes. And some of those might pick up as we go. Some of them might not. But it just kind of gets you in the zone. And I feel that that's really one of the most important things that you can think about when you start painting, is to get yourself in the right frame of mind and to take a few breaths and to relax and let that creativity come to the surface. And actually, by just playing on the top of some of them, all of them, it kind of helps you move from your left brain to your right brain. Your left brain is the linear side of your brain. Your right side is the creative. And when we've been busy doing lots of other things, you know, we might still be very much in left brain zone. So we want to kind of get into right brain zone, and just relaxing and playing and doing some stuff on top starts us to helps us move over to being creative, and I find that really, really helpful. Now, I do explain this a lot. I have a free abstract painting mini course, which the details are below, and I go through, you know, starting a painting and taking it through to doing a painting and showing you different techniques of how you can begin your abstract painting, you know, in that mindset. So if you would like to take that free course, just click down below and you can get started. So let's have a look at this. I'm going to start with this one first. Now, you know, I love doing abstract-y type landscapes. Sometimes they're landscape-ish. a little bit like this one. And sometimes they're very much more abstracted. And the most sort of relevant thing to you is, as you're painting, to find out the things that you really like to do. You know, what colours do you want to use? What do you like? Do you like making shapes? Do you like just doing something, you know, completely spontaneous and intuitive? Do you want to have an idea before you start off? And the only way to find out is to try those different methods. I normally have kind of a feel when I'm looking at this where I might go with it. I've got some, you know, things that I like about it, but I'm not dictated to by this. It just gives me a starting point. So I can just kind of begin and see how I feel. And if I'm looking at this, you know, there's parts that I feel I can just kind of go into when I begin. Now, I'm not necessarily saying I'm going to do a landscape. I just kind of let the thing unfold. I love the blue that's going on here. And really just being in that zone, being in the right side of your brain, really helps to guide you to painting from a space of creativity. You know, at the moment I'm not thinking anything about design. I'm just kind of going with the flow of how I feel and where the painting is kind of taking me. Now, I have my style of working, and you know, I've developed that over years, and sometimes it can go off on a tangent, sometimes not. But as you progress and the more you practice and the more you discover the things that you like, the more that style will come to you. You know, you can emulate some other people's styles to get a feel of if you like it or not, and then go from there. But you know, you want to kind of thinking when you're learning, you want to be thinking about your colours, your colour values, your design and your composition and your shapes. That's what make up a painting. Painting is any painting, doesn't matter what it is, whether it's a landscape, whether it's an abstract, whether it's flowers, it makes no difference. Every painting is made up of shapes and design, colour values and composition. If you get those three working in any painting, then you're on the road to success. So, you know, really important to understand those principles. So with all my courses, I help you understand how you can develop that in your own painting, developing your own style and understanding how it works. So and if you wanted to start off with the free course, you'll get a feel of how that comes together. So I'm just playing around. I've got a limited palette. I don't want to use too many colours. I love yellow ochre, and I'm using the yellow ochre with some phthalo blue. I've got some orange, some white and black, and probably I'll stay with those colours. I love the blue, so we'll just kind of see what happens as we go, and I'm exploring possibilities. So you know, when you're doing yours, especially these playthings, you can do whatever you like. You know, there's no hard and fast rule of any of it. I think, you know, you can play with your colours, play with maybe your limited palette, mix them with white, which will tint the colour. Let me just show you actually here. This is what I do just to see, you know, how colours will work. as I'm developing a palette. So, you know, you can see that there's some harmony in these colours, and that's what I suggest that you do. So you are keeping the colour palette small, and then you can develop it. So for example, I've mixed this now with some white. Look how subtle the colours are. It's really, really lovely. And then that starts to influence how you're painting with the picture. So I'm really kind of enjoying that colour. And, you know, I can add more white to it. Let's go a lot of white. See how lovely that is? And it's kind of saying, oh, yeah, let's go over here. Let's do this with that. And, you know, considering it started off very blue, this has gone into a whole different kind of colour range, which is lovely. So I couldn't have pre-thought that. That comes from, you know, the right side of the brain. It comes from just letting your intuition guide you. And if you have those skills of what we were talking about, the skill of your shapes, your color values, and your design, that kicks in when you're doing this kind of thing. So if you're going to really go forward with your painting, having those skills is really very essential. You have to know how that works in order to take your painting to the next level. Now, you can see here, this is a good example at this stage. You can see how with these colours, how it's harmonizing together, because I'm mixing a little bit of each colour together with it, with every one. When I look at the orange and the blue here, they're straight from the tube. Can you see how much they stand out? Because they're not harmonized. Now, if I wanted to go with the orange here, what I'm going to do is I'll take the orange and I'm going to add a tiny bit of, let's have a look, the ochre with it. So I've been using ochre in here, and I'm going to mix it with a bit of white. So it will have some of the ochre colour in it. Now, notice what happens. That kind of raw orange disappears, and it starts to feel good with the other colour. Do you see what I mean there? And that's what we're aiming for. We're aiming for harmony. So okay, let's just do it the other way around just for the sake of it. Let me just find a little brush here. Okay, now I'm just going to do orange on its own with not mixing it, and you'll see the difference. Right? You see how much brighter that is? It kind of stands out too much. It doesn't blend with the picture. So when you're mixing it, when you've got your palette and you mix it with just a tiny bit of the other colours that you're using in the painting, you will harmonize your picture and it feels so much nicer. So I'm going to go over this with the other one, and I don't actually like the orange there. So what I'm going to do with that is I'm going to take my tissue. I'm going to take that out just a bit, and maybe just, it's okay, I can paint over that with something else. Let's go over it with I want to go with a bit more white, and then when it's dried I can do other things with it. But this is the thing that I want you to consider. Once you've done your play and you've had fun and you've really enjoyed yourself, and then you want to start structuring your painting, then this is what you want to be thinking about. You want to be thinking about harmonizing and bringing the painting together with some different, with your colours, but mixing them such that it falls together and it comes together. I mean, this is kind of becoming quite interesting. I might leave it there for now and come back to that. I've got a nice start to something, and then I'm going to come to this one. You know, whole different kind of feel on this one. So I think I'm going to stay with the orange. So I've got the orange here, and might do something more with this just to play, see how that might work. Now, this is kind of looking a bit like glaze. What's glaze? Glaze is when you really water down a colour and you can see it's transparent, it's seeing the colour underneath. And glazing a picture is really a lovely thing to do if you want to change it. So for example, if I wanted to carry on glazing this, let's take another tissue. Actually, I'll take a sponge. I've got a sponge here. I'm just going to damp the sponge down so it's wet. Let's do it a bit more. I'm going to take a little bit of the orange. Now this is very watery now, and you see that? It's very translucent. So if I want to glaze over something with a different colour, that's how I do it. So I'm going to change the whole tint of the whole feel of the colour. Let me go to this one because this is just all blue, so it needs something. So let's put an orange glaze on here just to see the difference that it would make. See how different that would make it? And I've still got that blue coming through, but suddenly it changes the whole feel of the painting. Now I could do it in a different way, and instead of glazing it with the orange, say let's come to this, let's do a bit more water. I've got a little bit of blue on here. I'm going to glaze with the blue and make it very kind of soft, still getting that underneath. Can you see how you can very much dramatically change? Now it's going to, if I put it over the orange there, it's gone into a really nice green colour, which is nice. So you can see how you can get some wonderful effects by doing some glazing over a picture to continue it, and you know, to see what happens. Let's just see what else I've got here. Let's leave those for now. Let's come to this one. Okay, now I'm going to just put a bit of glaze on that. I can play and do something totally different on this one. So you've got lots of interesting options. Then you might say, okay, that's all right as it is, but I'm going to take some of it off. So this is what we call real experimentation, and see how drastically changed that. And you can get some really interesting shapes and designs and see, you know, what's going to happen. So I hope that's given you a few ideas. I'm going to carry on doing these, and when I finish them, I'll do another little video and show you how it went. But what I want you to take out from this little video is experimenting to find what you love to do. If you've got some of these skills under your belt, then you're going to find it much easier to develop your own style and find the things that you would really love to do. So take the mini course, have a few, then I'll give you a lot more ideas about this, and basically have some fun. That's what it's all about. So let me know in the comments if you found this helpful, and if you've got any questions, do ask them. And if you like the video, give me the thumbs up, and if you would like some more, then subscribe. And I look forward to seeing you soon. Take care. Bye for now.